get into it. So the hot news right now from a golf perspective, Rahm makes the leap to go to LIV Golf from the PGA Tour. I think that's all just clickbait. I mean, if anybody that's been paying attention to this, the PGA Tour handled this thing totally wrong. Monahan handled this thing totally wrong. Outside of the fact he handled it like somebody was still trying to hang on to the power. Because this was inevitable. The PGA Tour knew they couldn't handle LIV Golf because big bank always takes little bank. It's very rare that little bank can take big bank. And the PGA Tour came to their senses after making their employees, which happens to be the players on the tour in theory, look like village idiots by joining forces with the same people they complained about the blood money, the 9/11. They were tugging on your heartstrings. They were tugging on everybody's emotions and making them think that this is sports washing because for some reason everybody's going to all of a sudden start wanting to go to Dubai or Saudi Arabia because now they're involved with golf. Well, newsflash, they've always been involved with golf. They're involved with tennis. They're involved with boating. They're involved with every aspect of the Western world's life for the most part. I mean, because that type of money makes investments. And we as consumers help them make money because we consume and we don't produce, right? So as a byproduct, I mean, we're accepting of the blood money already. But I'm sure the PGA Tour got a hold of some consultants and they said, hey, go down this road here, tug on their heartstrings. Because when you when you don't have anything to fight with, right? And you know it's a losing argument, what do? You get people to vote against their best interests based on their emotions. I mean, these guys are professional athletes. And like most professional athletes, you play the sport. You start out playing the sport for the love. That's how you start out playing the sport. You start out playing it for the love. But then, once you get to a certain level, you're playing for the money. So you want to go to the highest bidder. Most individuals. There's going to be some that are willing to walk away from millions and hundreds of millions of dollars, but when you're looking at making more money in a couple of years than you've made in 15, 20-year career on a tour that for all intents and purposes really doesn't value you, in which they've shown them that multiple times over, then it's like we tell people in the regular professional world, employees don't quit their jobs, they quit their bosses, they quit management. That's who they quit. And as an employee, if you have an opportunity to go work somewhere and they're willing to pay you 40 times more than what you would normally make, working less hours, right? Not only are they providing travel for you, but they're providing travel for your caddy. And your caddy's well compensated. They're treated like they're a part of the team as opposed to second-class citizens. I mean, that's huge. And at the end of the day, it's a game. It's golf, right? So we can talk about blood money. We can talk about all that stuff. But if you look at some of the corporations that sponsor the PGA Tour, you follow the money, there's going to be some situations where, hey, they've probably done some things in their past where they may not be proud of, right? So you can't always look at where the money is coming from when you're looking at professional sports. But what did LIV set out to do? Well, one, they wanted to make a splash. They did. They wanted to grow the game. They are. They wanted to be more of a world tour as opposed to a stateside based tour. They are. And they're changing the narrative. And it's still, and I'm a golfer, so I like golf. So I'm not tied to the PGA Tour. I'm not tied to LIV. I mean, I don't care if it's college golf. I don't care if it's pitch and putt with the kids at Augusta. I don't care if it's LPGA, Symetra. If it's golf, I'm interested. I'm not driven by either tour. I'm not driven by a particular player, although I do have some players I do like to watch. But if golf is on the TV, I mean, I'll watch it because I like the game. And in theory, it's supposed to be a gentleman's sport, but when you see a lot of these message boards and a lot of the comments you see people make, I think that's lost, right? That's lost on a lot of people, that we're supposed to be gentlemen, and it's supposed to be a gentleman's game. Now, when we get out there, yeah, when we talk smack and say stupid stuff, that's not a part of the tradition of the game because you're playing with your buddies and you're just needling them, as we say, or give them a hard time. Yeah, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's supposed to be a gentleman's game. And obviously, the PGA Tour hasn't always done things on the up and up as far as, you know, having the best players play. I mean, look at LIV. LIV integrated their first year. Their first year playing, they integrated. It took the PGA Tour, 40, 50 years and a couple of lawsuits in order for them to integrate. And even when they did, those individuals weren't welcomed with open arms. I suggest you guys look at Ted Rose and Bill Spiller. So you really can't compare LIV to the PGA Tour, because from a social standpoint, they're far and away ahead of the PGA Tour from that standpoint. So those are things we have to think about. I think Jay Monahan came out early on saying, hey, the guys on the PGA Tour have never been a time when they had to say they were ashamed to play on the PGA Tour. I think there's probably several times those individuals probably could have said, hey, I'm ashamed that I play on the PGA Tour. But once again, we're professionals, or they're professionals. And I think a lot of times we're viewing it through the prism of our westernized eyes and how we're looking at things, right? Because we're fanatics about being Americans and we're fanatics about being fanatics. But I think if you look at the big picture, LIV is good for golf. It really is. I mean, a lot of those guys moved over to the LIV Tour. That opened up some spots on the regular PGA Tour that some of those guys probably wouldn't have made it that quick to the tour. But you had individuals who were in the top 125, they moved on. So that opened up, you know, more opportunities for us to see some people who we probably never would have seen. Now, a lot of times now when I look at the PGA Tour, no offense to the Corn Ferry, but I don't know a lot of those names. So it looks like a Corn Ferry Tour event, which is nothing wrong with that because once again, I like golf. So, and I think if you actually like the game of golf, LIV can't be bad if you like the game of golf because it's more golf. It's abbreviated golf. It's not taking all day, right? It's a shotgun start. If anything, it's more relatable to most of us than the PGA Tour. So let's let the rhetoric calm down a bit. Let's not always just jump on the bandwagon and bash these guys for going over there and playing, because they're professionals. It's no difference if you've seen Jamie Dimon leave, or is it Chase or Wells Fargo, and go work at PNC Bank or something. He's a professional. He got a better offer. Now, for some of these guys not just coming out saying, hey, it's about the money, we know it's about the money. But that's not the total driving force for some of them. Some of them, maybe they don't want the rigors and the grind of playing on the PGA Tour and having to deal with a lot of things they have to deal with on the PGA Tour. And for them to get the money that they're getting, it's because they know they're going to catch the arrows from a lot of us saying a lot of the negative things that they're saying and potentially losing their sponsors. So what they're getting has to be able to absorb that potential hit from sponsorships. So I get it, but let's just be thankful the times we're living in, and hey, there's more opportunities to go see some more golf, because every one of them, they're better than me, so I can always learn something. Thank you.